everyone, it's Kris Swiatocho with the singlesnetwork.org ministries and FromHisHands.com. In this chapter, we're going to talk about Jesus taking care of his family and how as a single adult, a lot of us are doing the same thing, and he understands because he himself did the same. At the end of his father's life, we know that at the cross, that now his mother Mary was a single adult, and he made sure that she had provision at the end of his life. Well, myself as well, I have taken care of different family members over the years. One in particular was my Polish grandmother. A lot of you have always wondered, what is my last name? Well, it's actually Polish. Well, my grandparents came to America in 1955. They came by way of Poland through South America, through Ellis Island. Well, my grandmother, being very Polish, wanted her only son, her only child, to marry a Polish girl. Well, it didn't happen. Just like a lot of us, we don't do what our parents tell us to do. We ends up marrying a Southern woman, someone that she wasn't too thrilled to have as her daughter-in-law. As a result, me and my brothers didn't have the best relationship with her. She wasn't a very good grandmother. She was at times very abusive, verbally. It was very tough as a child being raised by her, not raised by her, but having her in my life. So there was a time when I was grateful that she wasn't going to be in my life. I had the most wonderful grandfather, Polish grandfather, who thought I was the greatest thing, and I loved him. But my grandmother was very difficult to be around. Very argumentative, very controlling, very domineering, and really abusive. Well, one day, when my grandfather passed away, I made the decision that I would have nothing to do with her anymore. And I was happy with that decision because when you're abused over and over, there's a point where you have to say no more. You have to separate yourself from the thing or the person that's abusing you. So I decided that I would have nothing to do with her in my life. So years would pass. And then one day, as God was growing me and changing me as a Christian, I felt like I needed to reconnect with her. She'd been living in Connecticut this whole time, and she'd had somewhat of a relationship with my three younger brothers. But being a girl, it's a little bit different. There was a lot of jealousy on her part in relation to me. And so I decided that I was going to start sending her notes and cards. And at first I just signed them sincerely. And then I proceeded to say love and hoping that, God had something he was doing in the midst of this. Well, one day I'm at my brother's house and my youngest niece was born. And I got a phone call from my grandmother. And she didn't realize that I was there at the house waiting for the birth of my niece. And we called her babcia, which is Polish for grandmother. And I'm called Krysia, which is Polish. And I said, babcia, this is Krysia. And she says, hello. And so we started to talk. And I said, Lord, it's interesting. At times when I was younger, to talk with her, I just feared because of the things that would come out of her mouth. But all of a sudden, I felt like I could handle this. I could handle what she was saying to me. Well, who would know? But 3 months later, my grandmother would go crazy. She literally went nuts. Got a phone call from a mental institution in Connecticut, and they said your grandmother had been caught out running around the neighborhood and saying a lot of things, and we had to take her and put her in a mental institution, and you need to come and take care of things. Wow, had I waited too late? Had I waited too late to tell her about Jesus? So first thing it is, we gathered things, me and one of my brothers, and we went to Connecticut and sought after what was wrong, and basically she'd had a form of dementia, and she was basically figuring out how to live life with it, that she'd had it for a while, and nobody really knew it because she was a good faker. But she was going downhill quickly. She was never going to be able to go back to her home. I remember those first weeks and months, I didn't want to be there. I remember walking into her room, and she was sitting on the side of the bed, and the first thing she said to me was, oh, I forgive you. Forgive me? For what? I never did anything to this woman. But she did everything to me. I just kind of chuckled, and the next thing she said was, oh, you've gotten so fat. Well, for some of you who don't know or do know that I used to be a bigger person. And what's interesting, guys, is that I just laughed because she couldn't hurt me anymore. Because I had Christ in me. He was my protector. So what was interesting is the one woman that my grandmother probably would not want to take care of her ended up taking care of her. Isn't God funny? And so I would end up getting custody of her. I would have to make all those decisions about her home, her things, her health, and it was really difficult. In the beginning, she told me that she would never forgive me for putting her in a nursing home. But the reality is, guys, that I had no other options. I tried to get her moved to North Carolina where I live, and it was so much red tape, and it was very difficult because she was going downhill quickly, and her health was not able to survive the trip. And I remember as I would go and visit her in the nursing homes, I was there every week for many months. I called my mom on the phone, and I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. She's so mean. She's so horrible. She's still so abusive. I can't do it. I can't stay here. I don't want to be here. God, why would you put me in her life again? Why would you have me take care of her? Why? And as the weeks and months and even to the third year went on, things changed. Her dementia got worse, and she actually became a nice person. She became friendly. And then the day came that I called my mom and I said, I can't leave her. I can't leave her in this place because I love her. That's because of Christ, that you can love the people in your life that have hurt you. And now I knew why I was supposed to be taking care of her. It really wasn't about changing her, it was about changing me. I witnessed to her every chance I got. And you know what's great about this? Is I got to witness to all the other people because I was up there so much. I witnessed to the person I rented my car from. I witnessed to the person I rented my car from, to the hotel, all these people, the nurses I got to share my faith with in the midst of the storm. My grandmother, I don't know if she ever accepted Christ. I tried. You do what you're called to do and you leave the results to God. My last memory of my grandmother, I went in to see her and pushed her wheelchair into the little room, the activity room, and we turned on the TV and started to sing Silent Night. And she sang it in Polish and I sang it in English, and that was our last connection. I'm glad that I had the honor of taking care of my grandmother. Because sometimes it's not about you. It's about what God wants to do in your life. And it changed my life. And I'm grateful for it. And it'll probably change your life. So as a single adult, you find yourself in situations you don't like, just allow God to do what He's doing. Because it literally can change you forever. This is Kris Swiatocho with the singlesnetwork.org ministries and FromHisHands.com.